I am Anthony. I'm one of South London's finest. Do you know what? I'm in the beautiful borough of Croydon, supporting my family. Palace for life. Love you guys. We are some kids to ask some inspirational people some questions. I don't think I'm as inspirational as some of the guys that have been speaking to you guys that are going to answer the questions. Like my guy Ian Stevenson from McDonald's. Ian's the reason why I eat fillet of fish, chips, milkshake. He owns all 10 of the franchises of McDonald's in the borough. Dr. Joan Myers, OBE. Alan Titchmarsh did her garden. And guess where? In South Norwood. Big shout, JB. Hey, JB, do you know who this guy is? This guy produced for Drake. Joy Blake. Joy, love you, Joy. From Blue Jay. And Brecky. Stormzy said we got to go Blue Jay for a Brecky. Milk Tray. How can I forget DJ Milk Tray? Love DJ Milk Tray. Big shout to Donna Fraser as well. Listen, I wish I could run like her. Salute to Donna Fraser. Ma'am, Claudine Reed, MBE, salute to you, ma'am. Why are you trying to play this down for? You've recruited everybody. Abere Eze, do you know how much of a baller he is? And Tyreek Mitchell, you man are real ballers. You man are nutmeg kings. Listen, looking forward to this. We've got some amazing speakers on this film, and we've asked some children from local schools to ask them some questions. So you kids, you've asked the questions, and hopefully these great individuals will give you some good answers.
Did you like growing up in South London? If so, why?
Loved it.
I love South.
I love growing up in South London.
Different aspects, different cultures.
It was like a big community.
It's so multicultural, so diverse. We have so many people around, so many talented people.
I love South London. It's like it has a homey feeling about it, like a family feeling.
Had a great family atmosphere, always did. You used to be able to leave your front door open and your neighbours knew each other.
It's very diverse, so you get to meet loads of different types of people, different backgrounds, different cultures.
It's home.
How did you get to where you are today?
Started DJing back in 1995. Me and my cousins decided to set up a little sound system. We called it Sweet Boy Entertainment, and we've been going ever since.
I was 18 years old when I started my nurse training, and once I qualified, I worked in the hospital for about 5 years, and then I moved out into the community because I felt in the community there's more scope to do different things and nicer working hours as well. And I wanted to work with children, so I actually set up children's community nursing services.
I've just played football in cages for so long, and my dad put me into little clubs, and then getting into an academy, you're not really seeing it as a career or anything like that. You're just saying you're enjoying playing football.
Well, I'm told my parents said I was very determined as a youngster. Anything Donna wanted to do, she had to do it. And for me, that's carried throughout my athletics career. Plus, my primary school teacher, Miss Hughes, she always would say, be determined no matter what. And when I was running 55 metres, she'd always say, just focus on going forward, don't look left, don't look right, just focus on winning. And that has stayed with me. So I think that is a huge attribute that I have. Be determined and don't let anyone stand in your way.
It took consistency, a lot of courage, and the ability to be able to bounce back.
An amazing question. I think I got to where I am because of my hard work, right? Sometimes people will make it sound easy, but the truth of the matter is it takes courage, it takes leadership, it takes audacity, it takes understanding, determination, innovation, drive and enthusiasm.
What were your biggest challenges when you were a child?
Just that lack of confidence.
I think some of the challenges that we all face as young Londoners, if you like, as young people in and around society is just the fear of the unknown. It's understanding the direction that you want to travel and how you go about making those decisions.
The person that people probably see now would probably laugh or totally dismiss the fact that when I was growing up younger, I really suffered with like low self-esteem.
I'd say lack of opportunity. Obviously, growing up when your parents haven't got the most money and they're not in the best position, it's tough to then put you in the right places to then get the opportunity that you need as a kid.
I would say it was racism, and that because I went to a school which was in Beckenham, like Bromley, and we were the minority, and you know, trying to fit in. It was trying to fit in and kind of trying to learn something that just never fit. and having to deal with how, you know, your schoolmates saw you, and it was hard.
I think the biggest challenges was everybody telling me that I couldn't make it and I couldn't be it.
Self-doubt and not really believing in yourself. So thankfully I had people who were always speaking positivity into my life. I saw different role models, different people who I could point to. They don't all have to look like me, but you can take the words of what they're saying and use those as power shots to help yourself.
And I realised I could prove them wrong. They said that I couldn't do it, so I proved to them that I could. So I went on to do 8 O-levels and A-levels, and I did my degree, my diploma, my master's, and I've now got an honorary doctorate as well. So you can do it if you really want to do it.
Have you ever experienced racism in the workplace?
I have experienced racism. I think initially I just brushed it off and said it's their problem, not my problem. But as it progressed and when it became really blatant, then I felt that I had to call it out. So if anybody says anything or does anything that I feel is racist, I would just stop them and say, what did you mean by that? Did you mean what I thought you meant by that? And why do you feel it's okay for me to say that or to do that? It's not acceptable. So I always call it out because it's not acceptable.
Directly to me, I don't think I've ever experienced it, but I know that for those who have, it's difficult and it's not something you wish upon anybody. So it's something that needs to change, and we're starting to move in the right direction, but there's still a long ways to go.
I felt definitely like being a black man in a position of when I was working in retail. There was always going to be some form of challenges, and the expectation that I think we put on ourselves and that we've been raised with is the fact that we have to work twice as hard or maybe 3 times harder.
Who is your role model and why?
As a Christian, Jesus Christ, that's the first one.
My mum, my dad.
My cousins.
It's my mother.
Probably my dad.
Or my parents.
What he teaches you is in life in terms of how to be humble and to think less of yourself and try to help as many people as you can.
As you grow, you realise the lessons that they've been trying to teach you and the foundations that they lay for you.
Because she was like my mentor that always coached me and supported me and believes in me and prays for me.
How they worked hard, like they made whatever situation they was in, bad or good, they made it even better, like just the determination that they had.
Since they came over to this country in the 60s when it wasn't particularly great for women of colour especially, and for my father getting into the world of work. So they were the ones that really I was aspired to be like.
As a youngster, my mum died at 8, and we had a lot of issues in terms of, like, you know, being homeless, being able to come to the door, people trying to take our cars and this and that and the other. So I'd say, you know, for my dad to be able to keep consistent, doing it as a single dad, and, you know, he keeps being persistent, and he kept putting me through school even though I was a bad breed. You know, I had my fun. For him to never give up and still be able to say, you know what, you're my son, you're doing whatever. Yeah, I owe it to him still. He's like my role model of, like, never giving up, never being able to say that this won't work for him. You know what I'm saying?
My mother, my grandparents, my ancestors.
My family, I know I always go back to them, but like my mum, my dad, my gran. I was raised by one of my aunties heavily. She passed away a few years ago. She's just my everything.
So these guys are so inspirational, aren't they? Listen, these guys are great, and so are you. It's inside of you. All I say is continue to follow your dreams, work hard, achieve what you can. South London's where we're at. We're so proud of you guys.